Hello, bedbugs. Welcome back. I'm your host, Allison Bryan, and you're listening to Bedbugs Podcast, where we lay in bed and complain. Summer its ending is on the horizon. I can see it already. I feel like this was the quickest summer by far. I usually go home to LA for the summer. This was the first year that I'm working full time, and so I'm not going home to LA for the whole summer, and it's been jarring. It's been weird. Summertime, everything is going my way. I'm so happy. I feel full of life and joy. Fall comes creeping up and I can feel doomsday coming. I have been in my sushi era, which does feel like something I can only really indulge in the summer. In the winter, I'm just not craving a little raw fish. In the summer, I'm wet hair in a slick back bun, tan skin straight from the beach. I'm like, ooh, let me connect with the ocean. Let me indulge in its finest offerings. The winter, it feels like, ooh, I'm eating imitation crab. Even though the ocean's year round, but it feels that way. It carries that energy and it prohibits me from indulging. Jonah and I used to live on 101 in Amsterdam. We went to the sushi place called Suma Sushi probably 4 nights out of the week. When we left the neighborhood, that was our greatest loss. That and the fact that they were opening a Carvel literally on the other side of my building. This place, Suma, it's not that their quality is out of this world. It's just such a good price for good sushi. And you're this, I don't feel like I'm eating out of a garbage can right now. They just added it to Uber Eats and now I can access it from my new home. And God, it's a little bit of a wait because we're not quite so close. It used to be we would order it and within 5 minutes it would be at our door. It's a little bit of a wait now. Absolutely worth it. It is so great. We have already ordered it, I think 3 times since discovering that it was on Uber Eats last week. I'm not even allowed to eat at Sugarfish anymore. My doctor told me I should not be eating at Sugarfish because the chance of cross contamination is so high because they include shrimp in their omakase. And so I had a allergic reaction from cross contamination this year, and I think my allergy is getting worse. I don't know. I think it kind of keeps things fun, exciting. Keep my EpiPen on me. Keep that Benadryl stay on me. My inhaler is in my bag at all times. We're ready to go. Eel sauce, a little spicy mayo, nothing's gonna stop me. Nothing will keep me. I think I eat sushi primarily for the eel sauce. I don't really care what's in the roll as long as I can coat it in eel sauce. A little spicy may, yeah, I'm all about it, but the eel sauce is what I'm there for. And that's been since birth, since the jump. I used to go get sushi with my mom. We would go get bento boxes. Also, deeply in the darkest, most depressive time period of our lives, during my parents tumultuous end to their marriage and divorce, we would on the weekends, me and my mom just be kikiing like crazy. We would go get a little sush, go to the Goodwill, hit the TJ Maxx, a little local boutique, get a little Starbucks. We were having the time of our lives. And then in the car, a little Gap Sesh, would be crying to Amnesia. Amnesia would come on. Oh my God, we would be going crazy. Better Man, before Taylor released her version, and it was still, Little Big Town. Ooh, we were insufferable, the two of us. I was mourning a 20-year relationship as an 11-year-old child. I was absolutely living through my divorced single mom era simultaneously with her. We were just kindred spirits and we were going through it together. And I think that's why sometimes people used to be like, you're so mature. And I'm like, well, I'm a 45-year-old woman right now. I am living the life of a 45-year-old woman. And it was awesome. We would get sushi and a frappuccino. I didn't mind much. We would go to Goodwill before thrifting was all the rage. And I remember I used to be super embarrassed about it. And my mom did not gaff. She was like, we're going to get you some Lululemon leggings for $7. What the fuck do you care? My mom hates them all, too. That was always her thing. I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe just because, we didn't have a ton of money and, going to a mall was, all, full price ass shit. And she hated them all. And I remember she would give me a $20 bill. $20 could get you far in the Chandler Mall. And that $20 bill would get me lunch, a little Starbucks, a top from Forever 21, and maybe even a mini candle from Bath and Body Works. And I would come home fucking bacchanal, just in my glory, and I would film a haul and post it on YouTube. It is so funny to think about. I was watching Pen 15 a few years ago, and it's such a great like display of when you're in middle school and your parents are getting divorced and you're kind of like your problems are the most frivolous fucking problems in the world, and then the actual issues happening in your home are like real life problems. And I remember just like going to sleepovers and being like, ugh, we got Spanish tests on Monday. Like, this is so annoying. And then going home and it was like World War II happening in my house. I remember my brother was also such a fucking middle school ass brother. I think I did live a very sitcom-esque middle school experience. My brother was like doing the 100-day ab challenge, and every day I would just hear him in his room, 1, 2, 3, doing 100 crunches every day and getting ready for that 8th grade Wet and Wild water park day. And he like had a little girl situationship thing happening, and I remember we'd like drop him off for like parties at her house, and it was like all of them just sitting around in a basement, really wear my cutest fucking flyest outfit to drop him off to his friends' houses and be like, hey, hey. Like, I loved his friends so much. Those were always the victims of my crushes, and I mean victim with my whole chest. I was like terrorizing those boys. No wonder my brother wanted nothing to do with me for a period of time, because it was like I was just fiending for any friend of his. I'd be like, you can kick me. My kick is AG Brian 12. Every time I go home, my grandma, I swear to Christ, is trying to evict me from her home. When I was, I think, 11, we moved into a different beach house that was like a little bit further in Redondo. We had our own rooms that were connected by a Jack and Jill bathroom, which was super fun because in the old house, we shared a room. I loved, honestly, sharing a room with my brother. It was, I think, a bonding experience. We also, like, sorry to air you out, CJB, but we slept in the same bed for a long time. I'm a person, could have a 4-bedroom house. I will probably want my kids to share a room when they're little. It just was such a sweet experience. And then it was great to also then move into our own rooms at the appropriate time. It was the perfect time. Like 11 years old, 12 years old, you want your own rooms. So when we moved houses, we got our own rooms, but they were still connected. And all of our stuff is in there. And then I spent, the next 8 years going there every summer. And that's my room. It's like decked out in everything Allison. And when we moved from Arizona, it was also kind of one of the only houses to bring all my stuff to. So I brought a lot of my like childhood stuff there. But every time I go home, my grandma is either trying to get me to throw things away, package things up to go to the storage unit, or take it back to my New York apartment. I don't know if she thinks I live in a brownstone in the West Village here. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. We've filled to the brim with our things from our adult lives. I live with another person who has his own things. She is clearing me out of the home. I go home, it was summer, I was thinking, you know what, I'd love to go on a little bike ride. I go in the garage, I had this beautiful electric blue bike. Had a little shimmer. It had a pink basket, hot pink basket, and a yellow bell. Literally, if I was put into a bike, this would be it. I named her Blue Lightning, went to the garage, I was like, let's take Blue Lightning out for a spin. My grandma gave it to our gardener. She said, you want a bike? He said, oh yeah, listen, that's great. I'm hoping his daughter is enjoying this bike as much as I did. I get it. I really wasn't using it. On the off occasion I came home, I would think of it. But I was like, what was the reason? You didn't even tell me. You didn't even ask. Any object she can get rid of. I was home. She's like, you think you want to clear out your closet while you're here? The contents of my closet are literally like flower girl dresses from when I was in my uncle's weddings, my senior jersey from high school. All of them are like cherished memories. And she's like, you want to pack them up for storage? You know, if we have company, like I want them to be able to use the closet. First of all, we not only have a dedicated guest room, my brother's room has basically been cobwebs empty for the past 4 years because he took his shit and ran. He's not as sentimental. He also was like, yeah, pack it up. She wants to strip any ounce of me from her home, and I do not understand it. And then begs me to come home. She was like, you know, you're going to clear out your drawers? You got a lot of clothes in the drawers. Are you ever going to wear them? They're sentimental. Am I a hoarder? A little bit. But what do you care? It's a bedroom that nobody is using except I come home. Sometimes I go in there and I'm like, oh my God, look at this fucking t-shirt I used to wear all the time in middle school. Or, oh my God, this was my favorite party top in high school. Those are things I'll probably want to pass on to my kids. I'll be like, this is the vintage Brandy Melville from when mommy was 15. To be fair, it's not that she wants to throw all of it away. She wants to put all of it in storage, which I don't understand because it's basically in storage in your home, in the bedroom that I inhabit. Meanwhile, Jonah goes home, his room is untouched. I think it is the most beautiful thing ever. The first time I got to go into his space, he has his Legos that were built from when he was in elementary school. So everything is, it's literally when people say childhood bedroom, it is untouched, and I think it is so sweet. All right, you guys, we are about to welcome a very special guest on the podcast. I feel like for our 10th episode, it is time to hear from the man himself, Mr. Jonah Gentleman. So now that I've yapped long enough, I have to, I have to get my solo time in. Is this your first podcast?
No, actually, it's not. I released one episode of a podcast when I was in high school. It was called The A-Tech Experience. It was meant to highlight interesting students. I only found one interesting student, and there was no one else.
No one else in the whole school?
No.
I want you to explain how we met, how we know each other, and how we met.
Okay. I had a crush on Allison for a long time, but I was very nervous.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Do not lie.
I did have a crush on you.
Do not lie. The first summer we met.
Yeah, the summer before.
Was in 2020.
Yeah.
Summer of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were coming to the beach.
Yeah.
You and your family.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are family friends.
Yeah.
I saw you. I thought you were cute.
Yeah, I thought you were very cute too.
You didn't speak a word to me.
Well, okay, but I was just nervous.
Your sister told me she followed me on TikTok,
mm-hmm.
and that she liked my TikToks. I was immediately like, oh, embarrassed, because I think at the time I was posting the most insane cringe TikToks of all time. So I was like, okay, this is quite the way to start out an interaction with a family.
It's funny.
You did not even acknowledge my presence. As I'm walking out of the beach house, I said to my cousin Anthony, that boy was cute. Jonah's cute. And I found your Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I followed you on Instagram. I DM'd you. Do you want to hang out?
What did I say?
You responded and you told me, oh yeah, I'm sure my family would love to hang out with you.
Oh, yeah.
You included your entire family in what I was shooting my shot.
Yeah.
I think you were leaving before I was going to get back to LA, so we didn't hang out. I also kind of was ego death and was okay. And then I spent the next year with you kind of on my mind. I went out with a kid.
Yeah.
Because he reminded me of you. I found this guy on Hinge, and I literally texted a picture of him to Anthony, and I said, this guy kind of gives me Jonah Gentleman vibes, so I'm going to go on a date with him. And Anthony replied, I forgot that he existed, about Jonah.
Disrespectful. I wasn't on his mind, apparently.
No, you did not leave a lasting impression on his. And I went out with this kid. It was actually kind of the worst first date I had ever been on in my entire life. It was a record shop that had a coffee shop in it, right by his house in Hollywood, off of Hollywood Boulevard. To be fair, I did line 2 dates up in one day. I was going to
That's crazy.
go on this date in Hollywood, and then the second date of the day was going to be in Malibu. And so it was going to be a day of driving.
Yeah.
And I drove all the way to Hollywood, which was literally 5 minutes from his house. Like, no effort to meet me halfway.
Yeah.
Drove to him, get there, the place is closed. So he was like, oh, do you want to just drive around? If it was a first date, I was not going to like drive with a guy like in his car. Safety first. And so I was like, oh, we could take my car. And he was like, oh, good, because I don't have a car. So that was awesome.
Nice.
And then we drove around Hollywood, literally downtown Hollywood, for an hour. He was giving me the weirdest vibes. He had a very odd smell to him. And then he gave me his script and asked me if I could pass it along to people I knew in the industry.
That's crazy.
Because he knew that I was working as production assistant. And so he was like, any, people like if you could pass my script along. And I was in shock and horror at my fake Jonah gentleman and how horrible of a date it was. First of all, also, he was like, we could drive around and get coffee somewhere. I asked him no less than 10 times, like, oh, do you want to stop here? Every time he'd be like, oh, that place is expensive.
That's so funny.
I never been in a situation like this where I was like, do I need to give this kid money? Like, I literally was so fearful for him. I at one point was like, I have to go because I had to get to Malibu for my second date of the day. Where can I drop you off? He was like, oh, you can bring me home. So I brought him to his apartment. It was the scariest place on earth. It was like genuinely an apartment on Hollywood Boulevard. I didn't even know they made those.
Terrifying.
It was so insane. I dropped him off and then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go on dates with people who look vaguely like my family friend who I'm attracted to ever again. I was fucking playing the long game.
I think it worked. I didn't even know there was a game being played at all, long or short.
Then that summer, we hung out 4th of July.
Yes.
You saw notifications on my phone from Bumble.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I knew you were an active dater, and I just felt like, well, what chance do I have?
Little did you know, the greatest chance of all time.
Yeah.
You were on a generational run.
I know, it's crazy.
We hung out the 5th of July, too. I couldn't get enough of you.
Yeah.
And you told me you would never move to Los Angeles.
Did I really?
Yes.
That's
you were like,
crazy.
I'm going to college in Jersey. I want to live in New York. I'm all about the East Coast. I will never move to LA. I would never want to live here.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, in that moment, I was like, oh, wow, this would just simply never work.
I was doing everything possible to ruin my chance.
No, like, literally, I was persevering more than a woman has ever persevered in her life.
That's
like,
funny.
Every odd was not stacking up in my favor. And I was like, you know what? Just keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
I got to Idaho, and I, yet again, was playing every card that I had, every possible flirtatious moment I was capitalizing on.
Yeah.
You were picking up on maybe 6% of it.
Yeah.
So that night I laid in bed and I told my cousin Anthony, if Jonah Gentleman does not make a move tomorrow, we're done. I'm done with it. I'm literally not going to see him. He's going to college. Like, I'm not going to continue to put any effort or energy towards this. Which was kind of hilarious. It could have just stayed like a little stupid crush that I did not need to be so like, I am done with him.
Yeah.
But I think I just felt like I was putting out so much.
You have to give it high stakes.
Well, no, I just feel like it was like so not reciprocated. And I felt like it was starting to be like, I looked pathetic.
No.
You agreed to watch Twilight with me.
Yeah.
And that was the moment my brother was like, oh, he's so into you. You held my pinky.
Yes, I did. That was the big moment. That was crazy.
Anthony pretended to sleep on the couch so we could go make out in my room.
Technically, we didn't start dating in Idaho. We started dating in Las Vegas.
I know, yeah.
It was like a few days after.
Because that was the year that Idaho was like just a little bit sooner. Yeah. But now it's always on our anniversary.
Yeah. So it's a good...
we started dating in the Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
Can I tell the honest story about
Yeah,
how we started dating? Do
I'm
you
sure.
care?
No, you can do it.
It was one of my family members' birthday parties.
Mm-hmm.
Jonah was my date to the party.
I was, yeah.
We then left the party a little bit early.
Mm-hmm.
Went hooked up in my hotel room in
Yeah.
the Caesars Palace. And afterwards, you were like,
So we're like boyfriend and girlfriend now, right?
and I was like, I guess.
Not romantic at all.
No, literally not at all. Jonah has a very secret talent called spreading, which is speed reading.
Yeah.
Because he was in debate and like pretty good at debate too.
Yeah.
Pretty good at debate. And he is really good at, which first of all, it should be spreading. Speed reading should be spreading, but it's spreading. Which also to say your secret talent is spreading is foul.
I don't say that. You say that. I don't consider that a talent.
Okay, the fact that you use the word "I spread," I'm spreading is just peculiar and doesn't sound quite right. But you're a master spreader, and you got up there. You were rapping like
I spit bars.
It was quite crazy. Everyone was coming up to me being like, oh my God. It was one of those moments I was like, clear the room. Like, everyone's got to go right now. Like, it was the greatest display of, I don't even know, like testosterone that I've ever seen in you.
No, I think it was more the right amount of alcohol.
I feel like you were just emitting like real masculine energy, and I was like a female bird. Like, I felt like you were like a peacock, like calling out to me. No, like literally was like Monster by Eminem, including my cousin Ivy.
Yeah.
Like, my Aunt Ivy's like there, like, I'm friends with the, and I'm like, I'm literally hearing a mating call right now.
Yeah.
And then now we do karaoke every year, and it's always kind of the mad dash of like finding a song, because
it's a big source of stress for everybody.
Everyone. It feels like everyone is like a little bit more stressed out by it than it is a positive, but it's also the most fun thing we do.
Yeah.
But I do feel like everyone's a little bit on edge about it, because you want to be fun and cool, and you want to have an original cool song. You don't want to be that person that gets up there and does Before He Cheats. But at the same time, you don't want to be too obscure where no one knows the words. You want, but it's also the same group of people every single year. So you kind of have to pick a new song every year, because you don't want to be the person who just does that one song and everyone's like, yep, she's going to go up and do fucking Landslide again. So you've got to pick something fun and different.
But it still has to represent you. Like, you can't do a song outside of your niche.
Realm. Yeah. Like, you gotta, it's very stressful. Like, your mom texted me the other day and was like, do you remember if anyone has done this song? And I was like, I think honestly my aunt did this song.
She thinks about that once a month and is like coming up with new things, adding to her potential karaoke playlist.
No, like, I think like I have a potential karaoke playlist of like every time I hear a song that I'm like, wait, this could be a good one. Or like sometimes in the car and I'm like, oh, I kind of hit that note. Like, let me add this in. And like you start practicing. It's really become a whole thing. Maybe it's just like some of us are crazier than others. My mom is a person who has a karaoke song. She has a few, but like my mom and my dad actually are both, they have their songs. My mom is just, it's like rap. She doesn't really do.
But when you say rap, you have to be very clear. It is like original, like 70s rap.
It's Tricky and Rapper's Delight are her two like main ones. She can do like the 17-minute version. Like, my mom is very talented. She has a name, White Chocolate, and she spits bars on the mic. But I would love for you and her to like do a collab rap song together. Would be like maybe my dream.
Yeah, we could do a good one.
And then my dad, he is genuinely like a very talented singer, and he brings a tear to my eye every single time he does karaoke. Me and my mom will, I think him doing karaoke could get my parents back together single-handedly. Like, I really, really believe in my truest of hearts, if he showed up with a boombox singing,
that would work on her.
they could get back together.
Absolutely.
He would have to keep singing every moment of the marriage and never stop to speak a word. But if he just kept singing the entire time, it would work. My ideal karaoke is just honestly me and maybe 2 other people in a solo karaoke room, and I don't stop singing. I think would be my ideal situation would be that it's just me for an hour and a half doing all of my songs that I want to sing. I think that would be honestly Anthony's ideal as well, as like him, the two of just on the mic the entire time.
Yeah.
Singing.
100%.
I don't like waiting for other people to sing the entire time. I'm like, okay, how many songs until my song? And then when I have to go, I'm like, as soon as the song starts, I'm like, oh, I should have picked something else. And then if you put another song in, it's like 15 hours until you get back up on the mic.
Yeah.
I want to have karaoke after our rehearsal dinner. We're not engaged, but it's heavy on my mind.
Yeah.
And I want to have karaoke after our rehearsal, but I want it to be Allison and Jonah's choice karaoke, where we choose the songs that people sing, because I don't really want to hear whatever you want to sing. I want to hear what I want you to sing.
Yeah.
I want to have karaoke after our rehearsal dinner. We're not engaged, but it's heavy on my mind.
Yeah.
And I want to have karaoke after our rehearsal, but I want it to be Allison and Jonah's choice karaoke, where we choose the songs that people sing, because I don't really want to hear whatever you want to sing. I want to hear what I want you to sing.
Yeah.
My Aunt Fran loves to go to karaoke to watch people.
Yeah. She's just doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah, she's genuinely there to like film you to put on Facebook. She's not there to sing. She just kind of wants to like live stream the content to her fans on Facebook. She could be in my karaoke room.
Absolutely.
Because she would not want to get on that mic at all. She would just be filming me the whole time. Honestly, ideal blunt rotation.
She'd be a very active crowd member. She'd be listening.
She participates. Yes. When I was a kid, my dad used to tell me that I had used up my word count for the day. And we would be driving home from like school or whatever, and he would sometimes just randomly go, "Up, you hit your word count.
Yeah.
You're out of words for the day." Did you have anything as a kid that your parents would like say to you that looking back you're like, wow, that's so fucked up, but also like...
Whenever I had to try to explain something to them or tell them a story, I would include every detail to make it way too long. And so my dad, what he would always say is, I don't need the whole novel. Just tell me on the back of the book, just the summary.
The back of the book.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So that was always very good.
Oh, I'm gonna start using that. I do think there's something about if your parents don't kind of like tease you a little. I think the best times my parents were getting along were when they were kind of ganging up on me and Carson.
Yeah.
Like they would be like shooting the shit, like making fun of their kids. I cannot wait to make fun of our kids.
You need your parents to knock you down a peg. It's good for your ego.
If it doesn't happen in the home, then it's going to happen elsewhere, and it's going to be like disastrous. If it happens in the home, it's like trial run.
It's like drinking for the first time. You know?
It should absolutely happen in your home, preferably with your parents. Yeah. Did you drink in high school, or were you?
No, I was not. I was very... I didn't even know how I could party or like do stuff like that as a high schooler. Did so many cool things as a kid. You had all these house parties and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, cool. And now if I ever want to do, like, I want to party because I didn't do it, and Allison's like, oh, yeah, I already did that. Kind of, does it feel so sophomore year of high school? And it's like,
I did say that last night.
Not everyone had a cool sophomore year of high school like you. Some of us played video games every night in the sophomore year of high school.
But to be fair, my brother kind of did both. Like, my brother played video games all through high school, but also, like...
Because he had a cool sister that could set parties up for him.
The weird thing is I wasn't even, like, cool or, like...
You were
one of the popular kids in high school. I think it was just more so... I just was doing my thing, and I had a group of friends and a house, and sometimes access to alcohol, and it was a pool, and that was enough to be Project X.
Yes, I was going out with my coworkers recently, and there was like all the young guys, and there was one of the older guys who's 30, and so we were all just at this bar hanging out. You know, we'd been in there for like 5 minutes, and then suddenly the bouncer walks through the main bar over to us, and we think like, oh, is he gonna, one of the young guys, try to see them. He walks past all of the young people, goes straight to our 30-year-old boss. It's like, let me see your ID. And we all start dying laughing because why him of all people? And this bouncer is fully serious, and he like makes him pull out the ID. He's checking it. He asks him like, when were you born? And we were all just telling him like, he's 30. This guy's our boss. The bouncer says, I don't know, man. He just kind of looks like a baby. And then that same occasion, a guy just came up to us, and instead of like hitting on us, he pitched us his medical device startup because we looked like we were in finance, and we were like, "Oh, that's that."
Were you all in your suits?
I was, because I came straight from the office, but everyone else was in like casual attire.
But they just like
so we saw
felt
me.
that vibe.
Yeah,
you don't have as hateful of a spirit as I.
I know.
We have a hater gap.
Yeah,
that is our main gap in our relationship, is true hater spirit, which you lack, and I am absolutely filled to the brim with.
Yeah, it's a good yin and yang.
That's true. You balance me out, but at the same time, sometimes I'm like, I need you to hate with me. I need you to get a little bit more vengeful, a little bit more spiteful.
Let's get worse.
Let's get worse as people. Wait, let's queen out and get worse.
Yeah, let's devolve.
Jonah told me this morning that I was using therapy speak on him.
Yeah.
I was articulating my feelings, and he said, okay, using therapy speak.
No, we gotta avoid therapy speak sometimes. I think people just have to start talking to each other as real people. It's like you're talking to HR sometimes when you're talking to people, and it's like, what is this? This isn't real.
But I did say, like, would you rather me yell at you or use therapy speak?
Yeah, and then I was, okay, well, maybe that's a good alternative.
Yeah, I think for some of us who have things we're working through, the therapy speak is the better alternative, unfortunately, than spitefully like taking photos of you off of my Instagram because I'm annoyed or something. It's like, I think best case scenario is is being a little therapized, versus being like, I'm going to slightly leave the tap running to flood your apartment. All right, you guys, it is time for another bedbug of the week. We have a bedbug brought to us by Jonah Gentleman.
Thank you. There is a problem with people waiting in lines, and this is particularly plaguing New York City. People are too willing to stand outside in terrible weather for too long, looking like morons.
I saw a video on TikTok last night of people during the crazy rainstorm. The bitches were at Mimi's.
Yeah.
The bitches were out in line at Froyo, which is absolutely insane. You cannot convince me any cup of frozen yogurt is good enough to catch a cold.
Yeah.
It's just not.
And they'll do it for, you do it for frozen yogurt, you do it for Brandy Melville, you do it for.
Okay.
Something.
Okay. Not too much on my girl, okay? Brandy Melville, the only thing I will say, I do think that's slightly different. It's just because they only let so many people in at a time.
Why else are there lines? That's the only possible reason there could be a line. It's because they can only let a certain number of people in.
Okay. But I just feel like with Brandy Melville, it's like, I'm going to wait in the line every damn time.
Sure.
I know like where I'm going to get my basics.
I'm guilty of waiting in lines too, but every time I do it, I just think like this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it's a humiliation ritual.
There's an account on Instagram. It's called like Sheeps of NYC or something, and people will just walk by a line and just make everyone look so stupid, and I'm mortified of being caught in one of those.
When I wait in line for Brandy Melville, I can understand and acknowledge I'm part of the problem, but it's also like they're one size all is one size fits me. They fit me really well. They're a good cotton basic for not super expensive, and in this economy, it's bleak. So I'm gonna wait in the line. I will agree with you super, super hard on the fad lines. The only thing I will say in Brandy's defense is it's tried and true. There's been a line since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
When we're going through these seasonal, like, the candy epidemic, the Swedish candy epidemic, everyone fucking loved Swedish candy, and there were lines off the wazoo for those. Now it's Froyo. It's just whatever TikTok is telling you to wait in line for. That's when I think it becomes like herd mentality.
Yeah.
did wait in a line recently for a bar, but
Yeah.
it was solely because it was the
A Knicks Spurs final. This was game 5, so it was
game
big.
5, and the whole city was out and about, and we waited in a line. Actually didn't move that slow, like it,
Yeah.
and we only waited in this line because our friends were already in this bar.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right. I also, when I first got there, was not trying to wait.
Immediately wanted to go home.
We got in the line. As we're approaching the front, this group of guys comes up to the bouncer.
And these are like, they look like children. They're like probably 19 years old.
You know, when you're like 19, 20, you're like, I look 21.
Mm-hmm.
I pass. This was a moment where you're like, no, the fuck they don't. Like, those are children right there. Like, they should be in school. Like, they've got to open a book. We were watching them try to get into this bar.
And they were just suggesting a pathetic amount of money to skip the line and get in.
I think it was like $80.
$80.
And then
it was
which
really
it was like a line that was like genuinely a body for body line. It wasn't like, you know, it was, we can only, it's fire hazard. We can only let people in if people leave. That is the only way you're getting in this bar. And so they were trying to get in, skip the line. Bouncer was not budging.
No. And the bouncer was just the owner of the bar, and he was like, that's just, I don't need your money.
Yeah, didn't he tell them, like, our reputation matters more than your, like...
He makes that in one drink order.
And the best part is, like, they would go up to the guy, offer, he would say no, they would run back to their little circle 2 feet away.
Regroup,
with this, like, group of girls, and be like, okay, like, you can offer more. You made a little, like, literally we're like going around the circle, like, who has a little bit extra to give?
Yeah.
Okay, went back, offered 100 not happening. 200, come on, man, $200, as if this man had never seen a $200 in his life before. When I am in line and somebody's trying to cut, I am praying for justice to prevail more than anything ever. It is the most gratifying feeling when a bitch cannot get in. Any last thoughts to contribute to this?
I'm very excited that I get to be on the 10th episode. It's like a milestone landmark one. So I hope I did a good job.
Yeah, my first guest ever. My first fellow bedbug.
Yeah, but I'm very excited. So thank you for having me on. Bye.
All right, you guys, that was another episode of Bedbugs Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this very special 10th episode with our first guest, Mr. Jonah Gentleman. I will see you guys next week for a regular old episode. Thank you so much for listening. And in the meantime, sleep tight. Don't let the bedbugs bite. Good night.